Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Ravenstalk. Tonight, we're going to talk about the big battle tomorrow night, the Ravens versus the Bills in the playoffs. The winner will go to the AFC Championship game. And I'm Dean Smith. I'm a sports writer.
I'm Jack Gilden. I'm also a sports writer.
And we're going to get started with some questions in 1 second. Good to see you, Jack. How you
Good
feeling?
to see you, Dean. Good, thanks. It's good, great to see you. How are you?
I'm excited. I've got the eyes up there. I'm ready to go, and I can't wait for the game tomorrow night. I really can.
Yeah, I can't wait either, and it's very exciting. I mean, the Ravens are clearly one of the elite teams in the league, and they have one of the most balanced teams in the league, and they're definitely a Super Bowl contender here. There's no doubt about it, and so are the Bills. The Bills have clearly looked like an elite team over the last two seasons, and they're not going to be a pushover.
I tell you, that game last weekend was unbelievable, and I never expected them to do that to Derrick Henry. And now I think tomorrow anything can happen on the positive side for the Ravens. I really have a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I have a really good feeling too. I think that it was unbelievable that they shut Derrick Henry down the way they did, and it kind of reminded me of the Steel Curtain shutting down Earl Campbell back in the '70s. And I mean, it was just you saw Earl Campbell; he was like Superman all year long, and then when he faced the Steelers in the playoffs, he couldn't do a thing. And it was a real sign of Steelers dominance in that era. And maybe the Ravens sent a very big statement that they're going to be there to dominate on the defensive side of the ball in the playoffs.
It just feels like timing is everything, and this team is starting to peak right at the right time. I mean, it wasn't a pretty win. It wasn't an easy win last week, but they got the job done and they overcame some adversity right at the beginning. And you like to see the team do that. That's a really good sign for this time of year. So, first question, what's one thing we can't let happen? We can't let the Bills do tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I think the Allen to Diggs connection is the thing that really, we have to be most afraid of. If we let those two really get on their A game, we're going to have a long day of it, because it's one of the most prolific scoring attacks in the league this year. And Diggs is, I think a lot of people are starting to consider him to be the very best receiver in football now. And he's a Maryland Terp. So we've seen a lot of bad football out of College Park in the last 10 years. So I don't know how that's possible, but it is.
I think he's the best route runner in the league. I mean, he gets behind the coverage. He gets open. If he has a big day, we're going to have a tough time tomorrow.
I definitely think that's true. And I think that Allen is a very high quality quarterback. He's very smart. He's very accurate. He's putting up pinball machine numbers out there. And I think that if those two, go off on us, then especially early. I mean, that's the one way to beat the Ravens, is to get like a 2-touchdown lead early on, and then that seems to unnerve the Ravens and take them out of their game. So that would be the kryptonite that we would have a hard time dealing with.
Yeah, we can't let them get rolling because they're a very fast working offense. They put up a lot of points quickly. Josh Allen, to me, is like an early Ben Roethlisberger. He's not easy to sack. He can move around the pocket. He can run. We can't give him any time. And I think you're looking at that secondary and thinking everybody's healthy. We've got some excellent play that's been happening there. It's going to come down to that. I think that matchup is Allen, Diggs against our secondary.
Yeah, well, I mean, our secondary is going to boil down to either Marcus or Humphrey. It depends on who they're going to put on him and why. But I think the Bills have been putting up something like in excess of 40 points per game over the last 5 games or so. It's incredible. So it's almost like the old Dan Marino days, or Dan Fouts days, or somebody named Dan, somebody
exactly.
good.
Exactly.
So, I mean, so the real key is going to be to slow him down, which I do think is possible. So let me ask you, um, what do you think that the Ravens can do to contain Diggs? What do you think? What do you think is the key to shutting him down?
I mean, I think they've got to be aggressive, and I like when they play close up on the line. Um, you know, the other thing is they can't let him get behind them. That's the one thing. It's that whether it's Humphreys or Peters or Elliott or whomever is there, everyone, even the linebackers, need to know where he is because he could be slanting in. You've just got to know where he is on the field. You can't let. I think it's a team game, and you can't let one person beat you. I think the Ravens are very good at focusing on stopping the primary weapon, as they proved last week. So I'm sure Wink Martindale has strategies to deal with it. But that's what this is about. It's the same thing we've been in. You just got to do what you need to do to win, and you know adjustments will have to be made. He's going to get his catches, but if you can keep him within the 20s and not let him get into the end zone, into the paint, then I think we're going to be okay.
I mean, one of the interesting things about this I haven't heard anybody talking about on television or really reading so much about is, I mean, to me, the real key is the rush you're going to get from your defensive linemen, from your four men up front. And I think that if you don't sell out on those blitzes, or as we would say around my house, on those blintzes, if you don't sell out on those blitzes, then you stand a lot better chance against a guy like that. It kind of reminds me of the early days with Ray Lewis, and he would fight it out with Peyton Manning in the playoffs. And if you just sold out against Peyton Manning, you couldn't get to him. His release was too fast. He was too smart. And you couldn't blitz him under. It just wasn't possible. Now, obviously, for a precision passer like Peyton Manning or like Josh Allen, if you could take him off his rhythm, it's the key. But the hard part about doing it is you really need to do it with the linemen and not the linebackers, because when you send those linebackers, I mean, you're just setting up tremendous advantages for the quarterback that a smart one and an athletic one like Allen will take advantage of.
Yeah, and I think if you can make him play frantically and make him panic, he's always on the edge of that. He's moving pretty fast. If you can disrupt his rhythm, he gets going, that's a problem. But if you can disrupt his rhythm and not let him see the field, and give him some coverages that look a little bit different, he's not necessarily sure what's going to happen. I think that would bode well for us.
I think with a guy like that, if he's having his A+ day, you don't have a chance. If he's just having maybe an ordinary day, then that's your opportunity, and you can help give him an ordinary day by not giving him too many looks that he can cope with. If you're going to disrupt him and disrupt his timing, you're going to have to do it with those down, with those down linemen. I think there's no doubt about it. And then the other thing is that, and I know I sound like a broken record every week since we've been doing this, but the best defense you can play is hogging the football on offense. I mean, if the Ravens will, if they don't get behind early and they will stick with their running game, the Bills do not have a great run defense at all. The Ravens have obviously historically good running offense, one of the best in league history. And I think if they can just grind it out there and really frustrate the Bills by dominating the time of possession, I mean, then you make Allen get panicky because he's got to make it work every time he gets out there. So that's how I see it.
Well, it may not be an ordinary day tomorrow night, and because it's a 50% chance of snow, 1 to 3 inches is in the forecast. That's that could be difficult for both teams. And I think, but what are your thoughts on that, first of all?
I think it's a huge advantage to the Ravens if it happens, even though Lamar, and I'm not sure why he made a point of this, but he made a point all week that everybody picked up on, even the national press, that he'd never played in a snow game in his life before. But I think that Lamar, I mean, he couldn't be any more made for the snow if he had a harness around him and somebody was whipping him and screaming mush, because he's he's so shifty on the feet. He's so sure-footed, and they can't keep up with him on a 72-degree balmy day. He's breaking their ankles in snow. I mean, he's going to have every advantage. I don't think. I mean, he'd be like Steve Van Buren or something, like in Philadelphia in like the 1940s. I mean, he'll just be unstoppable. I think it would be a gigantic advantage for the Ravens, and I think it would really go a long way to helping shut down their passing game a little bit. The Bills' passing game.
No, I agree. I had been thinking the same thing, and I was wondering too. I have a good feeling that it's going to help us in a way that the rain didn't help us in New England. I think that that's going to come full circle, and it's going to be an advantage for us because we'll have some multiple options on the ground. We're not going to need to throw the ball a lot, and I think that's we'll just have to see. But I'm feeling good about that. I agree with you. I've felt a little bit like that, but Buffalo might, you never know, because Buffalo, they might put that into their own personality too. It's like they're home. This is what they're used to too. So they might be up for the challenge there. But it's going to slow down a fine-tune offense no matter what.
Well, and the Bills are kind of like the old Green Bay Packers that way, where they revel in the cold weather, or the old Vikings. They loved it. It was like Napoleon storming into Russia. It's the real battlefield conditions, and in Western New York they love it. So, but I don't think they're going to love it if it does happen tomorrow, because it will really not favor the passing game. It will really favor a running team like the Ravens, I think. But I have a really important question for you, which is, and this is one of the keys to the game as far as I'm concerned. I want to see what you think. If because Buffalo is such a high scoring team, is it going to put more pressure on Jackson and on Greg Roman to put the ball in the air more? I mean, I think every Baltimorean, that's their worst nightmare, that they come out and they start trying to sling it around the field. But that may be their plan, given the fact that Buffalo is scoring over 40 points a game. What's your feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think always there's going to be that temptation to try to keep pace with them, but I think you're just going to have to stick to what works. And I think forcing the ball in or trying to do that, it's not going to work well for us, especially if the weather isn't good. But I think if it's um, I don't like when you can sense the team feeling that pressure because they're not at their best, and they kind of, it's all, they'll abandon. It started to almost do it against the Titans. They threw that, there was that time that pass, that middle linebacker came running at Lamar. He threw a pass that was not accurate. It was intercepted. And I sort of had the feeling we were going to start doing some things that weren't true to our nature. And I think I wouldn't want to see them do it. I think they might feel that pressure, but they're going to have to resist it to be successful there. And I really don't see, to me, Josh Allen is a similar quarterback to Tannehill, but he's like Tannehill 4.0. I mean, he's more accurate, faster, a much better quarterback, and so that's going to pose some challenges for us. But I don't see them. I really see us being successful up there. I really feel like, again, this is all, the way this is moving to me. It feels very much like Super Bowl one. It feels like the second Super Bowl victory. It's like one of those years where things are falling into place. I can't see how one quarterback and maybe one or two receivers are going to be able to stop the momentum. That's my feeling right now. I could change. I know I'll have butterflies tomorrow night.
Well, I mean, Buffalo has that same momentum, though. That's that's the game breaker right there. In fact, the Ravens went into the playoffs with 5 straight victories, and Buffalo went in with 6 straight victories. So Buffalo is every bit as hot as the Ravens are, and they've earned it. Allen is such a good quarterback, and it's amazing that class of 2018 has turned out to be really one of the great quarterback classes of all time, maybe, with Baker Mayfield and Lamar and Allen and whoever else is in it that's escaping my mind right now. But It's interesting because Lamar really does well against those guys too. I don't know if he steps it up, if it's a jealousy thing or an anger thing or I'll show them thing, but he definitely performs well against those guys that came out when he did.
Yeah, it's funny too because I think the team rallies around him along those lines, and you're starting to see some contributions from that defense that from people you're not normally. Jihad Ward, you're not normally expecting. Pernell McPhee is having a tremendous year. He had a great game the last game. I like him out there. I like that Super Bowl experience out there. Um, Sports works in a certain way. Sometimes I think about, the Bills have kind of hit an apex this year. As you go further along as the Buffalo Bills, it becomes more pressurized for you. So you've had a tremendous record-breaking year this year. You've shown everyone what you can do. Is that going to be just, are we going to see the limit of that tomorrow? That's kind of the way sports works sometimes. But
I mean, I completely agree with you because they don't. I mean, that's one thing that the Ravens have over Buffalo is that the Ravens are a little bit more battle tested. For Buffalo, they're kind of where the Ravens were last year. They're coming
right,
in with a gaudy record. They look unstoppable. Their quarterback looks fantastic, but they really haven't dealt with this kind of pressure yet. This is their kind of grow up moment as a team, whether or not they can get over that hump. And last year, the Ravens did not do it well, and they lost that first division round game to Buffalo, and they were one and done. I mean, not to Buffalo, I'm sorry, to Tennessee, and they were one and done. So this year, Buffalo is going to have to deal with the Ravens. The Ravens are battle tested. The Ravens are every bit as good as they are. The Ravens are every bit as much on a roll as Buffalo is. So I think it's going to be hard for Buffalo for the exact reason that you said, that it's the pressure is really starting to come on now. Everybody that's out there is thinking, oh my God, if I miss if he completes it over my head, if I can't cover that guy, the whole world's going to see it tomorrow night. So that's what they're going to have to deal with, and they'll have to see. You never know when, and their pressure gets ratcheted up high. Sometimes a guy you think is going to be a hero chokes, and sometimes a guy you think is a bum or a nobody steps up and becomes the hero. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody behaves under pressure.
I mean, how one more question for you in terms of how do we slow that down, that offense? But I think we I just feel like if we start having success, it'll be similar, as you say, to last year. There'll be that feeling of panic, that same thing we had with the Titans. I mean, you've got, like you say, you've got some in the trenches grinders out there that know how to play Ravens football. And, I just can't see who's going to step up. Patrick Ricard. I mean, that was amazing to watch. And I watched that drive several times just to watch the refrigerator of his body rolling over people down the field. I mean, that was out of the blue.
Well, not only that, but catching the passes. He's
Right.
really an unbelievable athlete. It's not surprising to me that he's a great blocker. It's not surprising to me that he's an effective runner when he gets it. But I have to say, I was really surprised at how nimble he was and how well he caught the ball, how good his hands were, and then how effective he was once he caught it to really get moving. He's an incredibly good. One thing about the Ravens, probably since the very beginning, they've had unbelievably good fullbacks almost from the very beginning of their existence, and always have had one. And he certainly fits the bill. I mean, he's as good or better than I think than almost any fullback we've ever had, except for maybe Leach. If you recall how great he was probably the best one we ever had. But this guy, he's up there with anybody else.
Well, and when Jerry Sandusky is talking about how you picked a ball up off the turf like that, that's the son of a coach. That's somebody who's seen a lot of people do that, and that wasn't an easy catch. And
No,
again, the concentration level that's required for somebody who's that size,
what
six
is it,
foot
about
three,
350 pounds?
311,
Yeah.
311. Yeah. So, and those are the kinds of things that you can't wait to think about. Well, what are they going to try? And, Buffalo's probably going to get a share of their points. I think, in those successful years the Ravens have had, keeping teams within the 20s and not letting them into the end zone, it's going to have to be rope-a-dope again, I think.
Well, I think that your original question was, how do you slow them down? And I think it's very it's very easy to know what you need to do and very hard to do it. I think what really has to happen is that secondary has to step up a turnover or two in terms of a forced fumble, an interception. If they can do that, plus on the other side of the ball, if they can dominate the time of possession on offense, and if the defense can come up with one or two turnovers, that's their recipe to win the game. I know it doesn't sound exactly revolutionary, maybe even cliche, but it's very true in this case.
Okay, Jack, I'm going to put you on the spot. What's the final score?
The final score? I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than most people think. I think it's going to be, I'm going to say 28-21 Ravens.
Yeah, I was thinking 26-23 with a Tucker field goal and something like that. Some weird, like, missed this or missed extra point, but at 26-23, 3 points is what is my feeling. But I think we come away victorious, and then I think we look down the road to either the Browns or the Chiefs. And I've got a funny feeling about the Browns and the year that we just had, and what a fitting end it would be to this season with the Browns as our opponent. But
so that's your prediction. It's going to be an AFC championship in Baltimore with Baltimore and Cleveland.
That's my prediction right now.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's a bold prediction because the Chiefs are the defending Super Bowl champions, and they've looked very hard to beat this year. And Mahomes is something else. He's a cut above. So I love that prediction. That's very, very bold prediction. I believe it's going to be the Ravens, and I think it's going to be the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Although I like your prediction better. It's you got more guts than I do, and it would be a very fun thing to see the Ravens and Browns fight it out again.
Hey, well, it's great to see you, Jack. That was a lot of fun. Let's get to the game.
Okay, Dean. Have a great evening, and we'll talk again next week.
Sounds good.